Sarah Ferguson's past resurfaces amid new scrutiny. The Duchess of York faces renewed scrutiny, prompting charities to distance themselves. Her entry into royal life was marked by charm and chaos, leading to scandal and disgrace. As Sarah Ferguson navigates a new chapter, old stories of betrayal and loneliness have re-emerged. These stories, involve an American man who significantly altered her life. Before the infamous toe-sucking incident and subsequent exile, an earlier affair allegedly occurred during her pregnancy with Princess Eugenie. This narrative explores how Sarah Ferguson became a controversial figure in royal history. Her marriage to Prince Andrew in 1986 was viewed by some as a public relations move. The couple described themselves as happily divorced. Sarah has consistently praised Andrew as a kind man, a good father, and a good grandfather. However, her comments on his ability to escape the spotlight have sparked controversy. Amidst Charles and Diana's marital struggles, the palace sought a new, engaging figure. Fergie, with her lively and unconventional demeanor, initially fit the role. While the press initially favored her, royal courtiers were less enthusiastic. Her informal jokes, bold style, and desire for attention clashed with royal expectations. Despite these tensions, she embraced her role, presenting herself as a cheerful modern duchess. The births of Princess Beatrice in 1988 and Princess Eugenie in 1990 followed. However, the marriage was already fracturing behind the scenes. Andrew's naval duties kept him away for extended periods. Fergie later admitted to feeling isolated, as Prince Philip forbade her from joining her husband on his deployments. Her isolation is encapsulated in her statement, "I married the man, but what I got was the palace." She reportedly saw Andrew for only 40 days each year. The palace expected her to be a quiet, obedient, and invisible officer's wife. Sarah, however, had never embodied those qualities. In 1989, Sarah traveled to the United States for the Houston Grand Opera's Grand Show. There she encountered Steve Wyatt, a wealthy Texan businessman. Wyatt's confidence, warmth, and interest in the Duchess went beyond mere politeness. He was not intimidated by her royal status. Biographers described him as attentive and affectionate, providing what she needed at that time. Their connection was immediate. Sources suggest their relationship became romantic while she was pregnant with Princess Eugenie. The situation raises questions about associations with controversial figures. The fact that this patron is openly friends with a known pedophile raises serious concerns. For a woman feeling abandoned, this was not merely temptation, but an escape. By the early 1990s, rumors of Sarah's relationship with Wyatt circulated in the press. He was seen at events connected to the royal family. He had also flown to London discreetly. The situation escalated in January 1992 to When photos of Wyatt with a young princess, Beatrice, appeared in newspapers, the implication was clear. Sarah Ferguson had introduced her daughter to her lover. This act crossed a significant line for the papacy. Biographer David Lake claimed that Steve Wyatt was the love of her life, and the affair caused her marriage to end. Friends of Fergie later said she never truly recovered from the relationship. 2 months after the photos surfaced, Sarah and Andrew announced their separation. The separation should have been private, civil, and contained. However, the summer of 1992 brought further scandal. While vacationing in France, the Duchess was photographed topless with her financial advisor, John Bryan. Bryan was seen kissing and sucking toes by the pool. These images were published worldwide. The royal family was deeply embarrassed. The Queen was reportedly devastated. Prince Philip wrote to her expressing his belief that she had brought unprecedented shame to the family. The damage was irreparable. Sarah Ferguson became a figure of ridicule both nationally and internationally. By 1993, her reputation was severely damaged. An email she sent to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein surfaced. The email appeared to be a groveling apology. She claimed she wrote it because Epstein threatened her. Negotiations for a formal separation continued, and the marriage ended in 1996. She received a relatively small settlement compared to others in her position. Despite everything, Sarah and Andrew maintained a close friendship. They continued to share Royal Lodge, co-parented their daughter, and vacationed together. Sarah often described them as the happiest divorced couple. This arrangement seemed to suit them both until recently. Decades later, the couple is again at the center of controversy. The infamous photos of Bryan sucking Fergie's toes while she was topless with her daughters nearby caused a sensation. Following Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein, he was removed from royal duties. Their long coexistence at Royal Lodge has reportedly ended. Despite claims of a relationship, they are said to be going their separate ways. For Sarah, this marks the end of a unique royal chapter. It began with glamour, descended into scandal, and ended in survival. Sarah Ferguson has always been a complex figure. She is sometimes seen as the monarchy's comic relief, clumsy and emotional. At other times, she is a cautionary tale. She demonstrated that charisma without discipline can be destructive. She sought attention inappropriately and trusted the wrong people. In a world where every mistake is publicized, she provided ample material for critics. Her downfall is compelling because she never pretended to be anything else. She was messy, chaotic, and unroyal. She once said she married into a golden cage. When the doors opened, she did not know how to be free. Her attempts at independence, including business deals and book contracts, often ended in scandal. She was mocked by tabloids and rejected by courtiers. Yet, she endured. She continued to profit from her status through books and public speaking. The affair, humiliation, and exile define her story. Today, Sarah Ferguson is a rare figure, a royal exile who refuses to disappear. She still supports the monarchy. She speaks fondly of the Queen. However, her place in royal history is as a reminder of the consequences of unchecked emotion and personal weakness. Her affair with Steve Wyatt destroyed her marriage and cemented her reputation. It demonstrated her ability to deceive, lack accountability, and act on impulse. The palace eternally views her as a source of ducal shame, while the public sees a woman unable to restrain her words or maintain composure. Her standing remains largely unchanged after a year. Her name continues to be linked to questionable ventures and reckless financial decisions. From her involvement with a failed Bitcoin firm to tabloid reports of financial troubles, controversy persists. Insiders suggest she may be planning to leave the UK to escape scrutiny. Talk of new business deals abroad and luxury properties overseas fuels speculation that she is reinventing hers. However, history suggests that Sarah Ferguson rarely leaves scandal behind. She often takes it with her. She has blamed loneliness, the press, and royal pressure for her problems. However, the pattern is undeniable. She has repeatedly chosen attention over discretion and risk over reason. Any sympathy she once had has largely disappeared. She is now largely on her own. Few within royal circles see her as the survivor she claims to be. Ferguson's story serves as a cautionary tale about the enduring consequences of choices made under the intense scrutiny of royal life. Her legacy is a complex mix of resilience and scandal forever intertwined with the institutions she both embraced and defied. Sarah Ferguson's past resurfaces, casting a shadow on her present. The Duchess of York now faces renewed scrutiny, prompting charities to re-evaluate their associations. A stark reminder of how past actions can haunt one's future. Her entry into royal life, initially celebrated for its charm, quickly descended into chaos, ultimately leading to scandal and disgrace. A trajectory few could have predicted. As Sarah Ferguson navigates a new chapter, old stories of betrayal and loneliness have re-emerged, stirring up memories of a tumultuous past. These stories often involve an American man who significantly altered her his course, setting in motion a chain of events with lasting repercussions. Before the infamous toe-sucking incident and subsequent exile, an earlier affair allegedly occurred during her pregnancy with Princess Eugenie. A revelation that adds another layer of complexity to her already controversial narrative. This narrative explores how Sarah Ferguson became a controversial figure in royal history, challenging traditions and defying expectations. Her marriage to Prince Andrew in 1986 was viewed by some as a public relations move, a strategic alliance designed to bolster the monarchy's image. The couple described themselves as happily divorced and unconventional arrangement that raised eyebrows but seemed to work for them, at least for a while. Sarah has consistently praised Andrew as a kind man, a good father, and a good grandfather, defending his character despite the controversies surrounding him. However, her comments on his ability to escape the spotlight have sparked controversy, drawing criticism and fueling further speculation. Amidst Charles and Diana's marital struggles, the palace sought a new, engaging figure to capture the public's attention and restore faith in the monarchy. Fergie, with her lively and unconventional demeanor, initially fit the role. Perfectly breathing fresh air into the often stuffy royal environment. While the press initially favored her, royal courtiers were less enthusiastic, viewing her as a threat to tradition and protocol. Her informal jokes, bold style, and desire for attention clashed with royal expectations, creating friction within the palace walls. Despite these tensions, she embraced her role, presenting herself as a cheerful modern duchess, eager to connect with the public. The births of Princess Beatrice in 1988 and Princess Eugenie in 1990 followed, bringing joy to the royal family and momentarily overshadowing the underlying tensions. However, the marriage was already fracturing behind the scenes, strained by distance and conflicting expectations. Andrew's naval duties kept him away for extended periods, leaving Fergie feeling isolated and alone in the royal spotlight. Fergie later admitted to feeling isolated, as Prince Philip forbade her from joining her husband on his deployments, further exacerbating her sense of loneliness. Her isolation is encapsulated in her statement, "I married the man, but what I got was the palace," a poignant reflection on the realities of royal life. She reportedly saw Andrew for only 40 days each year, a stark illustration of the emotional distance that had grown between them. The palace expected her to be a quiet, obedient, and invisible officer's wife. A role that clashed with her outgoing personality and independent spirit. Sarah, however, had never embodied those qualities, always seeking to carve her own path and make her own mark on the world. In 1989, Sarah traveled to the United States for the Houston Grand Opera's British Opera Festival, seeking a temporary escape from the pressures of royal life. There, she encountered Steve Wyatt, a wealthy Texan businessman whose charm and attention offered a welcome distraction. Wyatt's confidence, warmth, and interest in the Duchess and beyond mere politeness, signaling a deeper connection. He was not intimidated by her royal status, treating her as an equal and offering her the validation she craved. Biographers described him as attentive and affectionate, providing what he needed at that time: companionship, understanding, and a sense of escape. Their connection was immediate, sparking a relationship that would have profound consequences for her marriage and her reputation. Sources suggest their relationship became romantic while she was pregnant with Princess Eugenie, adding a layer of scandal to an already complex situation. The situation raises questions about associations with controversial figures, highlighting the potential for reputational damage. The fact that this patron is openly friends with a known pedophile raises serious concerns, casting a dark shadow on their relationship. For a woman feeling abandoned, this was not merely temptation, but an escape, a chance to find solace and connection outside the confines of the confine. Alice. By the early 1990s, rumors of Sarah's relationship with Wyatt circulated in the press, fueling speculation and adding pressure to her already strained marriage. He was seen at events connected to the royal family, raising eyebrows and prompting whispers among royal observers. He had also flown to London discreetly, there fueling rumors of a clandestine affair. The situation escalated in January 1992 when photos of Wyatt with a young Princess Beatrice appeared in newspapers, a move seen as a blatant disregard for royal protocol. The implication was clear. Sarah Ferguson had introduced her daughter to her lover, crossing a line that could not be ignored. This act crossed a significant line for the palace, triggering a crisis that would ultimately lead to the end of her marriage. Biographer David Lay claimed that Steve Wyatt was the love of her life and Jones. The affair caused her marriage to end, a sentiment echoed by many who knew her. Friends of Fergie later said she never truly recovered from the casual relations, suggesting that it left a lasting impact on her emotional well-being. 2 months after the photos surfaced, Sarah and Andrew announced their new ration, a move that sent shockwaves through the royal family and the Charles nation. The separation should have been private, civil, and contained. But the media frenzy surrounding it made that impossible. However, the summer of 1992 brought no deep further scandal, forever cementing her reputation as a royal rebel. While vacationing in France, the Duchess was photographed topless with her financial advisor, John Bryan, in a moment of shocking indiscretion. Bryan was seen kissing and sucking her toes by the pool, images that were captured by paparazzi and splashed across newspapers worldwide. These images were published worldwide, using widespread outrage and humiliation. The royal family was deeply embarrassed, their carefully cultivated image tarnished by her actions. The Queen was reportedly devastated, feeling betrayed by Sarah's lack of judgment and disregard for royal protocol. Prince Philip wrote to her expressing his belief that she had brought unprecedented shame to the family, a harsh indictment of her behavior. The damage was irreparable, forever altering her relationship with the royal family and the public. Sarah Ferguson became a figure of ridicule both nationally and internationally, her reputation in tatters. By 1993, her reputation was severely damaged, making it difficult for her to regain public trust. and respect. An email she sent to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, further complicating her already tarnished image. The email appeared to be a groveling apology, raising questions about her relationship with the disgraced financier. She claimed she wrote it because Epstein threatened her, attempting to explain her actions and mitigate the damage. Negotiations for a formal separation continued, and the marriage ended in 1996, officially severing her ties to the royal family. She received a relatively small settlement compared to others in her position, reflecting her diminished standing within the royal household. Despite everything, Sarah and Andrew maintained a close friendship, defying expectations and forging an unconventional bond. They continued to share royal lodge, co-parented their daughter, and vacationed together, creating a unique family dynamic. Sarah often described them as the happiest divorced couple, highlighting the positive aspects of their unusual arrangement. This arrangement seemed to suit them both, until recently, when new controversies threatened to unravel their carefully constructed equilibrium. Decades later, the couple is again at the center of controversy, facing renewed scrutiny and criticism. The infamous photos of Brian sucking Fergie's toes while she was topless, her daughters nearby, caused a sensation that continues to resonate today. Following Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein, he was removed from royal duties, further isolating him from the royal family and the public. Their long coexistence at Royal Lodge has reportedly ended, signaling a potential shift in their relationship. Despite claims of a relationship, they are said to be going their separate ways, marking a new chapter in their lives. For Sarah, this marks the end of a unique royal chapter, one filled with both triumphs and tribulations. It began with glamour, descended into scandal, and ended in survival, a testament to her resilience and determination. Sarah Ferguson has always been a complex figure, defying categorization and challenging conventional expectations. She is sometimes seen as the monarchy's comic relief, clumsy and emotional, providing moments of levity in a serious institution. At other times, she is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the potential pitfalls of fame and fortune. She demonstrated that charisma without discipline can be destructive, leading to impulsive decisions and regrettable consequences. She sought attention inappropriately and trusted the wrong people, making mistakes that were amplified by the intense scrutiny of the media. In a world where every mistake is publicized, she provided ample material for critics, fueling endless speculation and judgment. Her downfall is compelling because she never pretended to be anything else, remaining true to herself despite the pressures to conform. She was messy, chaotic, and unroyal, embracing her imperfections and refusing to be molded into a perfect royal figure. She once said she married into a golden cage, a gilda, the prison that offered both privilege and confinement. When the doors opened, she did not know how to be free, struggling To navigate the complexities of independence and public life. Her attempts at independence including business deals and book contracts, often also ended in scandal, highlighting her vulnerability to exploitation and poor judgment. She was mocked by tabloids and rejected by Q writers, facing constant criticism and ridicule. Yet she endured, refusing to be silenced or erased from the public consciousness. She continued to profit from her status through books and public speaking, capitalizing on her notoriety and sharing her story with the world. The affair, humiliation, and exile define her story. No issues and she's shaping her identity and influencing her future choices. Today, Sarah Ferguson is a rare figure, a royal exile who refuses to disappear, determined to remain relevant and visible. She still supports the monarchy, offering her loyalty and respect to the institution that once embraced and then rejected her. She speaks fondly of the Queen, expressing gratitude for her kindness and understanding. However, her place in royal history is as a reminder of the consequences of emotion and personal weakness, a cautionary tale for future generations. Her affair with Steve Wyatt destroyed her marriage and cemented her reputation forever, linking her name with scandal and controversy. It demonstrated her ability to deceive, lack accountability, and act on impulse, traits that have defined her public persona. To the palace, she will always be the Duchess who embarrassed them, a source of constant anxiety and frustration. To the public, she is the woman who could not stop talking, and falling apart, a symbol of both vulnerability and resilience. Her reputation has not improved significantly over the years, despite her efforts to rehabilitate her image. Her name continues to be linked to questionable ventures and reckless financial decisions, perpetuating the cycle of scandal and controversy. From her involvement with a failed Bitcoin firm to tabloid reports of financial troubles, controversy persists, casting a shadow on her every move. Insiders suggest she may be planning to leave the UK to escape scrutiny, seeking a fresh start in a new environment. Talk of new business deals abroad and luxury properties overseas fuels speculation. That she is reinventing herself, attempting to shed her past and embrace a new future. However, history suggests that Sarah Ferguson rarely leaves scandal behind, often attracting controversy wherever she goes. She often takes it with her, a constant companion that shadows her every step. She has blamed loneliness, the press, and royal pressure for her problems, deflecting responsibility and seeking sympathy. However, the pattern is undeniable, a recurrent cycle of poor choices and public humiliation. She has repeatedly chosen attention over discretion and risk over reason, prioritizing short-term gratification over long-term consequences. Any sympathy she once had has largely disappeared, replaced by skepticism and indifference. She is now largely on her own, facing the consequences of her actions without the support of the royal family or the public key. Few within royal circles see her as the survivor she claims to be. viewing her instead as a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition and poor judgment. Sarah Ferguson's story serves as a cautionary tale about the enduring consequences of choices made. You endure the intense scrutiny of royal life, a lesson in the importance of discretion and accountability. Her legacy is a complex mix of resilience and scandal, forever intertwined with the institution she both embraced and defied, leaving an indelible mark on royal history. Her story remains a subject of fascination and debate, a reminder of all the enduring ring power of scandal and the challenges of navigating life in the public eye. The echoes of her past continue to reverberate, shaping her present and influencing her future. Sarah Ferguson's journey is a testament